Hello, everyone. Can you hear me well? Thumbs up if yes, please.
Yes.
Thank you, Maria. We're starting the Capacity for Dev onboarding webinar. Thank you for coming. Thank you for being here today. Here I'm talking from Brussels. It's uncommon sunny day. eh, Um, and well, it makes all the mood a little better. Everyone is happy here today, I see. I've launched first poll just so you answer where are you talking from or watching from. I'm Ivan. I'm the community manager of Capacity for Dev. I'm happy to be here with you today. I'll be your main presenter, and I have Maria, which is the user support manager, also helping us here. There is a list of disclaimers that will be published in the chat. You have also the option of using the Q&A for questions about Capacity for Dev. We will be answering these questions at the end of the session, or if we don't have time, we will do a follow-up email. The session is being recorded, so if you don't want to be in the recording, please do not open your camera and try not to comment in the chat. The polls are anonymous, so if you answer polls, they won't be appearing in the for everyone else. So as I mentioned, while we wait for everyone to be here, we're gonna do a little networking session to present ourselves. As I mentioned, I'm Ivan Pizeta. I'm the community manager of Capacity for Dev. I come from Brazil, but I'm also Italian. It has been 5 years that I'm living here in Europe. I have a background in communications and international relations, economics. And from this webinar, I expect to enhance community engagement from and for users in the platform. So if anyone would like to present themselves, this is the moment, this is the opportunity. I ask to, if you like, open the camera or to raise your hands. So I will give you the word. Please don't be shy. I'll give the word first to Maria, just to give a head start. So many people. Maria, would you like to present yourself very quick?
Yes, sure. So I'm Maria. As Ivan already presented a bit, I'm working in the user support part of this platform that is Capacity for Dev, and that Ivan will explain better today. And I'm very glad to be here with you today. I'm based in Brussels right now, but I'm from Portugal. And I do expect to help Ivan to answer to some of your questions today in the Q&A part. Thank you.
Right. Thank you, Maria. So I saw that there's an order here, but Irina, you had to raise your hand. Would you like to present yourself still?
Thank you. My name is Irina Francioni. I work in the El Pacto program. I am in Madrid. I am knowledge management. I worked in the past in Capacity for Dev, and I be a great. I think it's a great place. I want to do use this platform again, and I hope learn about the news activities inside the Capacity for Dev. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Irina. So, Leonard, would you like to present yourself as well?
Yes, thank you. Good afternoon. Léonard Lévesque. So I work for LGI, French SME headquartered in Paris, but I'm personally based in the south of France, close to Aix-en-Provence. I'm coordinating a Horizon 2020 program on the development of a network in the field of renewable energy between Europe and Africa, a big continental platform. And this is precisely regarding the development of such a platform that I'm exploring within Capacity for Dev, is there is any additional opportunity to sustain our efforts Thank you.
Thank you, Leonard. Eric, would you like to present yourself as well? We do not hear you. Maybe your microphone is
Now,
off.
yes.
Yes.
Now, yes. Sorry. Hello, good afternoon. My name is Erik van Malderen. I've worked 14 years for Enabel, the Belgian Development Agency. I'm in contact with Capacity for Development already more than 10 years, but we underused the platform. So now I'm consultant in renewable energy. Hello, Leonard, maybe we can make contact. And let's say I want to learn a little bit more of this used platform, and I hope to make new contacts, and people can me ask anything about renewable energy in Africa. I'm at the moment in Mozambique working on a few projects, so I'm happy to be here with you all. Thank you.
Thank you, Eric. I see there's Susanna. Is that how you say your name?
Yes, hi everyone. My name is Susanna. I'm connecting today from Budapest, Hungary. And I work in the field of sustainability and education, capacity building, youth, adult, and through the EU funds. So I'm also expert in writing proposals, network building, and so on. And my field of expertise is STEM, EOC, that is like science, technology, engineering, education outside the classroom. So I've been involved to a Horizon 2020 project, and this is where I really digged into this topic. So here I would be happy to make further contacts and probably build new networks and new partnerships. Thank you.
Nice, thank you so much. So as a suggestion, if you wouldn't like to open your camera, introduce yourself, you can make a little text and put in the chat. And for everyone that would like to be contacted or to showcase their profile somehow and in a secure way, so you don't have your email outstream for everyone, you can copy your Capacity for Dev profile here. And I will show you later how to activate the contact, how to be contacted. And you can use this tool to contact all the members directly in the platform. Thank you. So let's go to the next steps. Just to mention, so I made the poll. Besides Mozambique, Hungary, France. We have some people from Cairo, Egypt, from Spain, Madrid, Malta, and also other people from Belgium. So thank you for being here. I see we have a very diverse presence, very diverse public today. So this is our team, Capacity for Dev team. So we have Maria and me that already presented themselves. And we also have Marie, which was the former community manager and now is our business project manager. She's dealing mostly with the IT part. We have Dimitrios, which is the communication expert. He's responsible for the social media, for the outreach of Capacity for Dev. We have Claudia, which is the content coordination expert. She deals with design, she deals with the production of our articles, also many communication aspects. And together with Dimi, they build the editorial team of Capacity for Dev. And also from the INTPA side, DG INTPA from international partnerships from the European Union Commission, you have Ariela De Gennaro. She's not here today, yes, but if you have any inquiries from the Commission side, please get in contact with her. She might be able to help you. Next one. What will we cover today in this webinar? So what is the Capacity for Dev? Who can use the platform? What features are available for you? How can you benefit from being a user? What is the aggregated value? And finally, we're going to do a virtual tour that is going to be followed by a Q&A session. So just a reminder, if you have questions, use the Q&A. We will address them at the end of this webinar. For those who don't know, Capacity4dev is the European Commission online knowledge sharing platform that is designed for to connect professionals in international cooperation. It was created by DG INPA, so the DG responsible for international partnerships. It was launched in 2009, and it was revamped last year in 2023. To become a more user-friendly and to display new functionalities, for example, projects and resources that you're going to see later. It has a leading position on knowledge sharing in the field of external relations and is a community. It's community-based. Is a community of international cooperation professionals. Most of our content, let's say 80%, is produced by our members, and the rest, 20%, is produced by our editorial team, which publishes articles, podcasts, and we're gonna see later on. Well, how do we connect international cooperation professionals worldwide? By collaborating, by engaging, by learning from each other, by sharing expertise, lessons learned, innovative approaches, uh, by sharing tools, and everything in one single place. Everyone has access to it. From the international cooperation community, not only people from the commission. I'm having trouble to pass. Okay, who can use it? Yes. So mainly we have 300 new members requests per month. Now we have over 10,000 members in the community. Of course, we are always cleaning inactive members, spammers. It's a very secure platform. Who can join overall? Like, what is the target people we have in Capacity4dev? So EU institutions, the Relax family, governments, international organizations, NGOs, civil society, academia, and private sector. As I mentioned, it's a securitized environment from the EU institutions. We manage spammers, we manage scammers, we manage people that are only there for commercial purposes. It's also important to mention in our added value that is a space without ads. Nowadays we have social media, we have so many websites that you're gonna be overloaded by these ads all the time, and Capacity4dev, you are completely free of that. Just to mention, what is the Relax family? It's all the EU external action institutions, the delegations, the EU member states delegations as well, and DG INPA, NIR, and FPI. As I mentioned, it's a community-created platform, so 80% of our content is created by our users. But we also have some activity on social media. So if you have something that you want more visibility to give more visibility to, we have our active X, LinkedIn, YouTube, and Facebook. So let's say you publish a new document, a new evaluation, and you would like to have more visibility to it. You get in contact with us from the support email, which is already in the chat here. And we are going to forward it to the editorial team, and then it can be published to in our social media. Also, we have a monthly newsletter on LinkedIn. It can also be mainstream there. And for EU institutions, we mainly INTPA, we publish inside in my INTPA if you like some visibility, some internal visibility. It is a multilingual website in the process, which is to say now it is only in English. We have some content in French and Spanish, but the website is in English. It's going to be translated to, you're going to have the official versions of French and Spanish, and the rest of the EU languages will be displayed as a machine translation, like you already have in many EU websites already. So what are the features that allow us to knowledge share and connect professionals? First, we have the groups, which might be comparable to groups on Facebook, for example, if you use Facebook. It is a collaborative space where you can interact in different topics. So mainly people create a group concerning an activity, a topic, focal points. It reunites around a topic which you can choose, but the main idea here is that you can collaborate. The big difference from this is the projects, which has a similar outline, similar layout, but projects are kind of like static websites where you can display your program or project. And the big advantage here, it's also a aggregated value for Capacity for Dev, is that it replaces external websites. So many projects from the EU now I heard they are cutting a little bit budget on communication. You have for free available in Capacity for Dev somewhere you can put or you can upload your apps, your project website, and it's going to stay forever there. It's not about budget cutting, but let's say your project has a 4-year program, and then at the end of this, the project is over. There's no one else responsible for this project, and the website might go down. If you do it in Capacity for Dev, it's going to stay there forever, which is important for our knowledge management. And lastly, you have resources, which is to share really a horizontal tools that are useful for more than one topic in the Capacity for Dev. It can be lessons learned as well. You should explore the page. I'm going to show you in the virtual tour how is it displayed currently. And finally, articles. This is exclusive use to our editorial team, which publishes articles that they produce themselves or in partnership with users. We have best practices, lessons learned, podcasts, as I mentioned, and they are highlighted in our platform. So this is also a way to mainstream your project, your activities in somehow that it will get more visibility. You just have to get in contact with us as well via the support email, and we will forward your message to the editorial team. So here's some, just if you follow some tracks. So I want to create a space on Capacity for Dev. Space, what we call space in Capacity for Dev are groups, resources, and projects. So I want to create a space. Do you want to have interaction with your members? If yes, you have the groups. The groups might be public, restricted, or private. The public groups are available for everyone. They will be available in the search. When you look for groups, everyone is able to see them. You can make members ask to join or join automatically. You have restricted groups, which is available only for a certain email domain. Let's say you only want people that has a EC email to have access. You're gonna select the domains that are allowed, and only these people will be able to see the content inside or be able to ask to join. And finally, you have private groups, which is not displayed for anyone unless you invite them. Only people that you invite will be able to join this group. If you don't want interactions with members, you have the possibility of sharing knowledge publicly. It's more unilaterally. In projects, and then you go to projects. In projects, you can publish news different from discussions in the groups. News are updates about your project. People can comment on it, ask questions, but it is kind of unilateral. It's about a website where you publish your news. Finally, if it's not for that, if you want to share a horizontal non-thematical resource, you have the resources that can also be public or restricted. The groups can be joined, the projects and the resources can only be followed. I'm showing you this in our virtual tour as well. So let's go to the virtual tour. Can you see my screen from the?
Yes.
Thank you,
Yes, we
Maria.
can. Yes, we
Perfect.
can.
So this is the non-logged in page of Capacity4dev. Whenever you type our website, this is gonna appear. Maybe if you're already logged in, you're gonna bypass this. I wanted to show you this because there is our interactive video that kind of makes you follow the path of what you want. You want to learn from the platform. You want to connect with members. Please click and watch this video. It's very interesting and it might be very helpful for what you need. But also I wanted to show you that we have some other ways to display your content here. So the articles, of course, it's our own editorial team that produce, but we have the community highlights, which is discussions, info pages, or events, for example, that are highlighted here by our choice, as well as the groups. So here we chose to display job opportunities, Capacity4dev groups, best practices, and OPSIS, and projects and resources. So if you like us to display here, if you need some more visibility to your public space in this case, please let us know. We can display it here. We update this every month. And today, let me log in here. Everyone have access to this. So when you log in, you go to the homepage. The homepage is generated by an algorithm that is strictly related to three things: the topics you select when you register, the countries you select, and also the people that you follow. I would say four things then, because the content you follow as well, the content that you produce, the groups that you're part of, or the content that you click on the button follow. This is going to appear here in your homepage. For example, I am manager of the job opportunities group. Whenever there's a new user, I see it here. But also, if you are part of the job opportunities group as a member, you are going to have this kind of notifications, this kind of content appearing for you. So there will always be our main featured article. This is the editorial team selection. For example, now we have the Capacity4dev Ambassadors Program open. This is for members that would like to give some support to Capacity4dev, to publish our content in social media, to have a dedicated article in our editorial spotlight, and so on. In this page, you are going to have suggestions of groups, projects, discussions that were published in groups, events, and so on. But you also have the people that you are following and your followers. And some suggestions of who to follow that is also based on algorithm by your topics, countries, and people that you are already following. And here you have some statistics based on your interests as well. So one new project was published concerning my interests, 28 discussions, and so on. I would like to point out that we have the link already for the help and support page, but it is pretty highlighted here. So if you go to this page, you have so many tutorials step by step on how to do basically everything in this platform. But I'm starting now after home with topics. Basically, topics and countries, essentially, they are powerful search engines. Whenever you go to topics, you see all the topics that were selected by DG INPA, DG NIR, and FBI, based on all areas of international cooperation. But if it is your interest, you speak better the language of SDGs, you can also select it here in the search bar, in the filters. Let's say you go to knowledge management. So every time you click on a topic, you are able to see all the groups, projects, discussion, library items, resources, articles, members, and events related to it. They're organized chronologically by last update. So this is recent to our platform. Before it was organized by last created. Now we decided to organize it by last updated. And you are also able to see the subtopics that are related to this. Whenever you click on the subtopics page, you have the same outline from the official page of topic. Maria, just a additional request. Could you copy the Capacity4dev groups best practices link in the chat?
Sure.
Can explore it now. Well, countries are very similar to the way that topics are presented, but you have this little map displayed here, interactive, that whenever you click in a country, for example, Egypt, so there was some people from Egypt here, you have statistics of Capacity4dev, so how many groups, projects, discussions are published, and you can go to the country from here. So as I mentioned, the country page is very similar to the topics. You have the overview, groups, projects, discussions, and so on. You can find the statistics of Team Europe initiatives from the country. And it's likewise presented in this way. It's interesting for you that, okay, I come from academia. I want to see what they have in Capacity4dev related to Egypt. You go directly in the library. You can filter by keywords. You can select what kind of content you like and which type of document. This is all filterings from the documents itself. So whenever you publish a library item inside of a group, a project, or a resource, you have to select which kind of document it is, so it helps on your on other users' research. Finally, articles. This is how they are displayed. So if it's of your interest, this is you have always the contributor, so highlighting the author of the article. As I mentioned before, whichever content you are browsing on, you can always click the follow button, so you get updates from it whenever they have updates. So let's say if someone comments, you are going to receive an email and also a notification from here. Here, exactly. You can also comment, like, you can share. You can share inside of Capacity4dev if it's a discussion, but you can also share outside of Capacity4dev in any of these platforms. Bookmarks is also to find them easier. You're just not going to receive notifications, so it might be useful if you just want to save it for later, but you don't want to receive updates on it. Finally, resources, as I mentioned, they are non-horizontal, and they are separated in key EU official resources and resources that are not necessarily EU ones. Finally, as you see, if you like to browse directly from the side, okay, I'm not necessarily interested on the topic, but I want to see all the groups that are available. You go to browse content. You also have the projects, discussion, resources, articles. For these 2 pages, articles and resources, the difference here is that this is really a search engine for everything that is here in the browse content. So here you have a displayed article page. Here you have a resource main page. But as I show you here, it's a search engine. So you can apply all the filters you like, according to SDGs as well, to the source, if it's official or not, for in the case of resources. But also you can cross countries and topics in the same search engine. We created many ways to find content and to find spaces. So you can go from topic and countries, or you can go directly from the browse content. And you also have the search tool here for a more general research search. Let me show you now. If you're wondering, how do I open a new space in Capacity4dev? First, you're going to click on, not click, just hover browse content, and you're going to the page of groups, projects, or resources, and there are always going to be a button here, create group, create project, create resource. It always needs validation from me and Ariella. Will be evaluating all the spaces if they comply with the, is it here? Here. With the terms and conditions of Capacity4dev. So if you're wondering if your space is going to be approved, just read the terms and conditions. Here is where you have all the elements you need to know. You are seeing some groups you're not supposed to see. Let me try to go to a research here that is better. I want to show you the. So if you go to my profile and my memberships, you find always all the groups you are part of or that you are managing. In this case, I want to show you the layout of the Capacity4dev groups, best practices. The link is already in the chat. This group was designed to show a few examples of how the users or how we as Capacity4dev team suggest you use the features to display your content in the best way. So there's creative ways users are using our features. While in the help and support page you have the tutorials, here you have creative ways to display your content. So for example, one thing that we suggest is to make your content dynamic using simply the text editor we have in Capacity4dev to highlight important things, the titles, for example, to use emojis, to link all your content, and make it as intuitive as possible for users. The groups have an overview, info, discussions, library members, and events. Sorry, we have, I'm muting. And for this group specifically, I would like to suggest you navigate through info and discussions. The info pages is where you are going to find the creative ways to use Capacity4dev features. For example, to make your content more dynamic, embed images, or insert quotes like I did here in this page. Not only for its main use, for example, a quote doesn't have necessarily be used to a quote, but it can be to highlight content, highlight a sentence from the document you are navigating through in the page, and as it is displayed in a different way, it calls the attention of the user and it relaxes while it's reading a lot of content. One suggestion we always do for the info pages is to create a little roadmap in the first info page, so users know where they what they can find in the rest of the info pages. So there are a lot of practical examples here. There are the best practices highlighted. And we apply throughout this group the examples ourselves. So for example, one of the examples is applying tables to organize content, not necessarily to organize data. This is how it's displayed when you use a table. But if you're wondering, do I need to be a space manager, which is admin or owner of a space, to be able to post content? Not necessarily. In public groups, you can also publish your content. And the first step you have to do is to click here, post content. Here is where you can publish also library items, which are documents, photos, and videos. But for example, if you want to start a discussion in a group, here's where you go. And you are redirected to this page. Every discussion, you have to select a type of discussion. You're obliged to fill all the red mark fields. And here's where you find all the tools we have that are explained in the best practices group. For example, one recent thing we have is to expand the text editor so you only see it. You can edit better without being having more space to display. So you have all the basic features from any text editor throughout the internet, topics. You can link, you can create anchors, you can create big lines, and you can upload images, you can do quotes, you can create tables. Everything can be combined as well in one thing. So here's my first challenge for you. Try to navigate through Capacity4dev and to find something that is a group or a project that is interesting for you. In case you find a group, try to start a discussion. In case you find a project, try to go and comment on something that is of your interest, just to navigate and come up with some questions as well, or not, just to learn how to use the platform itself. Okay, so for this virtual tour, I have only one more thing to show, which is the My Profile navigation. In My Profile is where you are able to edit your settings. And the important thing here is that you can change your username and all, but the important thing here is you can set the notifications frequency. So let's say this is set by default as weekly, but you can also set for monthly or for never if you don't want notifications, or even daily. And in agreements is where you're going to select if you allow members to contact you or not through Capacity4dev. So here, let me go back. If you go to browse contact and members, you can see that some members have this allowed and some others not. So it's your choice. But it is a way to be contacted without being disturbed in your personal or work email. This is also a suggestion on how to network with other members directly in Capacity4dev without having their email. I just forgot to show the events, but this is a very interesting part of Capacity4dev. You have a lot of events going on here. They work similar to what you have in Facebook, for example. You have the dates, you have normally put the link here, but you can add to your calendar so you remember what's going on. Can kind of make it's one size subscription. So the person that published the event is not going to be notified about this, but you can directly add in your calendar, and all this information here will be already in your calendar. This is the onboarding webinar, for example. Maria, could you also drop this link this is the page where we are publishing the recording of the session. It's going to be here at the top of it. So going back to my profile, you also have here, as I mentioned, the memberships, the discussions, but the content that you hit the button follow. So it's, for example, for a project, you cannot join a project because it's a public static page, but you can follow them to see the updates, and you also have all of them reunited here. Same thing for bookmarks, it's just not going to get updates from it. You have your network as you have in the home page. The messages are displayed here. And also important, you have some stats. So this is simple stats of events and discussions, or everything that you publish by your side, it's concentrated here. And let's say you have the number of discussions. I published 15 discussions. I already got 22 likes in all my discussions. All right. So we're done with the virtual tour. Do we have... Okay, so I don't think we have any questions from the Q&A.
Right.
But as we have some time still, I would like to open for anyone that would like to make a question about how to navigate through Capacity4dev, how to open a space, or whatever question you come up with. Just raise your hand or open the camera, and we'll be glad to answer. No questions. All right, so Maria, could you launch the final polls?
It's on.
Thank you. Okay. Sharing again. Presentation. So just some reminders. We have our help and support page. There's the contact us page for writing a message. And you also have the possibility of booking a call with the support or the community management, especially for opening spaces, or if you have some problem navigating and you like some close attention. The links are here on the chat as well. And I challenge you, as I mentioned, to post a discussion, open a space, or comment in a post to get more connected with Capacity4dev and its members. Yeah, I forgot to erase coming up this summer because I've launched it. We've launched it last week, the best practices group. You can join it directly. It's an open group. We are updating there soon tips for users, which is a new it's a campaign we are creating with the best practices overall for content creators and normal users, as we mentioned, that are not willing to open a space but only to participate, navigate the platform in its own way. Let me see the answers. So nice to see that in today's webinar, people have learned how to use sections, how to use Capacity4dev in general, to navigate through different pages, and how to post content on Capacity4dev. I see that after this session, some people are interested in navigating in the OPSIS group, and maybe launch a discussion. So this is it for today. We were, oh yeah, very fast. If you eventually have any questions, you have our contacts here. And we'll be happy to answer you in the shortest delay. Thank you so much for participating, and have a lovely day, whatever you are. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Can I end meeting?